thanks for joining me. I'm making my card for the Cardz TV Cards design team, and I'm using the Good Times stamp set and the Stampin' Up stamp set that I bought. The challenge for this week is create a card for spring. Now this is actually going to be a spring themed birthday card, and I did some preparation ahead of time. I went ahead and stamped and cut the flowers and some leaves. I'm going to start out with a 110 or 140 pound watercolor paper. I don't typically use this unless I'm doing multimedia, but I had run out of the other ones. And I've got some masking tape there that I'm just going to stamp my Cardz TV stamp on, and that one says, may all your birthday wishes come true. Then my hands were a little bit sticky from the glue. I was trying to get that off. So then I'm going to go ahead and fussy cut around the stamp, and I'm going to put it down on that watercolor paper and use some Tattered Angels. And the Tattered Angels color that I'm using is called Candlelight. Now I've had my Tattered Angel sprays for a really long time, and sometimes they're unpredictable. You'll see here in a minute what happens. I had done a little test before I started the video. The test actually came out just fine, but for this one it didn't. But lots of buts going on there. I ended up liking it, so I went with the flow. That's the watercolor paper that I was talking about. So you notice I've got the craft mat down there. I don't want that paint, the Tattered Angels spray, to get all over my craft mat. So I started to spray it, and it was just kind of blopping out. There's one blop and there's more, and it's kind of going all over the place. So that's very strange that this happened. Like I said, I had done a test. So this is where I'm going with the flow, and I'm thinking, yeah, that would look really cute. I'm just going to go with this, try to get as much out as I can, and I'm just going to dip that on my craft mat and kind of spread it around. Now, when this dries, it dries sort of sparkly, which that's the look I was actually wanting to have. I wanted something sparkly, and trying to get that all up there. I did. Like I said, I actually like the way this turned out. Finishing that up, and there we go. I had it all over me. I was trying to get myself cleaned up a little bit so I didn't have that go on any part of the card. Alright, so then I'm trying to get it dried. I didn't have my heat gun handy, so I kind of waved it in the air. I'm going to lay these flowers down. I'm going to start out in the left corner, and I'm going to kind of trickle it down to the right corner. And the paper I used for this was just some Recollections paper. It was nothing, you know, it's not a hard or thick cardstock at all. And I'm picking the colors that will actually pop together, will transition together. So I have a pink and then a yellow and then a purple, and I'm sort of alternating them. And I'm going to put another pink down there. And another yellow. And a purple. There you go. I'm going to kind of let that dry a little, and I'm going to put on my leaves. This is just a leaf that I have in my stamp sets. I don't know where it came from. I use it a lot though. And I'm going to go ahead and place those randomly. I think the leaves really added that special touch. And I don't know if you noticed, but I am using Memento Black Tuxedo ink for this project. My tweezers always come in handy. They hold things better than I do. I usually end up dropping stuff. Now, what I first started to do here was I'm going to cut the bottom of that purple flower off, and I'm going to put it in that empty space on the left corner, but it wasn't quite dry. So I put it back in its place, and I'm just going to let it sit there. And then I'm going to get out my Winkostella, and I'm going to kind of go over the petals of the flowers. First, let's go ahead and stamp my sentiment right there in that spot that I had masked off. You could stamp over the tattered angels. I just really wanted it to not get lost in the colors. Wanted that black to really show. I love Mary's stamps. They always turn out perfectly. That's just the clear. I give it a little shake, and I'm going to go ahead and color in the middle. On some of them I'm going to color in the petals, and it's very hard to see on the video, but in person the petals and the card, everything was real sparkly. It was really pretty. I like that Wink Stella. That was a brilliant thing there. Oops, I bumped the mic, sorry about that. And almost finished with those petals. And doing the middle, and then I'm going to do the petals on those, on that flower there. And it almost activated the Memento Black ink, made it a little darker. I liked it. I was going to color those, and I thought, nah, that's got too much pattern in it. Go ahead and do the leaves. And it's just so sparkly and pretty. I'm thinking that that purple flower down there in that right corner is probably dry by now. So I'm going to trim that off. I didn't want it to rip. I want it to have a clean cut on it. And I'm going to place it right down on that left corner. And it's already got the Wink Stella on it, so I don't need to do anything with that. And then I'm going to go ahead and put a leaf in that blank space there as well, but that'll be in just a minute. I'm going to go ahead and take that yellow, and I'm going to put it right up there in that right corner, fill up that empty spot. Things keep sticking to my glue. And I want to put a leaf there as well. I think it really finishes things off very nicely. Now on the video I did forget to use the Wink Stella on that leaf, but when I was all done I went back and colored that in. Now I did try and use the tattered angels on just regular 65-pound weight cardstock, and it bowed up. It wasn't that wet, but the watercolor paper I find really works best with that Tattered Angels product. And there's the one layer. Now it's okay that that leaf is sticking over just a little bit, because the watercolor paper is actually cut at 5 1/4 by 4. So it's going to be just a little bit smaller than that A2 size card. And I want to make sure I get the glue right on the edges so nothing's sticking up. It lays flat right on the base of the card. I love that deep lavender color. Oh, it's just so pretty. It was a little hard for me to move it around because the card base has a little bit of texture to it. So I kind of lifted it up and redid it. And that's my card. Thank you all so much for watching. I will put a piece of white paper on the inside so that I can write something, you know, to my girlfriend Sandra that I'm making the card for. And great. Have a great day.